Okay, hi everyone, welcome to this presentation. Today I'm going to talk about the life of a famous British person, or a biography of a famous British person who is living. So maybe you saw my video about John Lennon, or my presentation about John Lennon. Obviously he's a famous British person who is already dead. So today we're going to look at biography of a famous person from the UK, from Britain, who is still alive, and that person is David Attenborough. David Attenborough, I don't know if any of you will have heard of him. Maybe you've seen his programs. So he works in television, maybe on Netflix you have seen his shows. Okay, so let's have a look about David Attenborough. So here he is, David Attenborough. So as you can see, he's quite old. So I've underlined and highlighted any case of the present simple. So just look out for those verbs. So David Attenborough is an English broadcaster and natural historian. Broadcaster, this is someone who works in television or in radio, like David Attenborough. So it can be radio, it can be television, but they work in, means of communication that are broadcast to people. So he's a natural historian and a broadcaster. He is 93 years old, and he has 2 children. Here's some basic biographic information. Okay, what else can we say about David Attenborough? First, there he is. So he is very famous in the UK, in the United Kingdom. Well, he is famous all over the world, but in the United Kingdom he's maybe one of the most famous British people. He is very famous for working for the BBC, the public television network, and he writes and presents natural history documentary series, so natural history programs about nature, about animals, about plants, all these different topics. And he's done this for many years. So he is famous for presenting shows such as Planet Earth, or Blue Planet, or Africa, different shows like this. So there he is when he was younger. So he is a graduate from the University of Cambridge. He studied there. His career has lasted nearly 70 years. So he started working in television in 1951. So nearly 70 years ago. A very long time. And he works mostly for the BBC, but he has worked for other companies, other corporations, but mostly he works for the BBC. There he is again, David Attenborough. He's very well known, I already said. People know who he is. He's famous. He's also very respected all over the world, and in the UK especially. And at least 20 species or genera of animals or plants, reptiles, birds, amphibians, 20 species of animal or plant, both living ones and extinct ones, are named after him, named in his honor. So they use his name. And in the United Kingdom, he is considered to be a national treasure. A national treasure is someone who is universally loved and admired by everyone generally. So in Colombia, maybe you would say Gabriel Garcia Marquez was a national treasure. David Attenborough is under this category, a national treasure. So very popular, very admired. Here he is a couple of years ago with a rhino. So even at the age of 93, he continues to work in television and in radio. So he's still working despite his age. He still writes and narrates nature programs. And he also campaigns, raises awareness about climate change. So he's still a very popular, still very influential figure in British culture and television and society. So yeah, that's some information about David Attenborough. I hope you enjoyed this presentation. If you Google David Attenborough or YouTube David Attenborough, you will find some of his programs. His most famous is Planet Earth, and I think it is on Colombian Netflix. It's called Planeta Tierra, I think. But this is one of his programs. So maybe if you have Netflix, you can watch his programs. So thank you and have a nice afternoon.